Look at this, Reddit has a minimum of 115 million visitors every single day, with a whopping 50% from the United States. Today I will show you a brand new way to get viral traffic from Reddit for free. Step 1. We find long forgotten content that had viral traction or lots of engagement. Then we create new content that updates those old strategies and then promote the new content directly back to the Reddit audience. This is a brand new strategy that nobody else has discovered. Also, hit the like button to tell YouTube to show you more content like this. So let's go to the computer and I'll show you how to do it step by step. Okay, to make this work, we need to go to google.com and then search for Reddit through Google. This is what I mean. So we type in site:/reddit.com, put in a space. We're going to add a couple of quotes here. So let's think about your niche. Think about a keyword that relates strongly to your niche. In this example, I'm going to go with, well, passive income will do. So let's see what we get. So, okay, we've got tons of results, but there's an issue here. So take a look at this. The top result here, or one of the top results, is from 2 months ago. This is too recent. Even if we scroll down, we've got stuff from a year ago, from 2 years ago. All of this is too recent to really make this strategy work. So what we need to do here is add in a date. So let's say we want to go quite a few years ago. So we would add in something that says before, : and then a year. In this example, I'm going to go with 2021. And now watch what happens. Okay, so now we have completely different results, and all of this data, all of this content is from years ago. So if we take a look, here we go, we can see that this is from 5 years ago. That's brilliant. This is perfect. We're well within the range that we want to be targeting. So let's take a look. The next result, again, 5 years ago. Fantastic. The next one, 6 years ago. Okay, so we can see that this Boolean search operator is working, and that's fantastic. So now we are searching the entirety of Reddit for keywords, for old threads that contain the keyword passive income. But you may want to dial this in a little bit further. Let me show you how to do that. Because if we go back here to the beginning, so site:/reddit.com, if we put this in just after the .com, we have //subreddit. So here we can target specific subreddits. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say we want to target just the entrepreneur subreddit. Let's say we find a subreddit that we know is receptive to our type of marketing, that's going to be receptive to this type of traffic strategy. We may want to lock in on just that subreddit or a handful of subreddits that we keep coming back to. And this is going to allow you to do that. So in this example, I'm going for the entrepreneur subreddit, and let's see what we've got now. So if we scroll down here, we have old posts that need to be updated from a specific subreddit containing the exact keywords that we want to target. So let's take a look at the very top result. Here we go. This is from 7 years ago. And if we take a look at the content, it's good content and the contributions are good. We can see that the conversation was jumping a few years ago. Obviously, it's died down now. But look at this. We have 260 comments on the top result. Underneath, we have 160 comments, 90 comments, 80 comments, 430 comments on this old thread. So we know that this thread had a lot of traffic, at least at some point in its history. So that means we can re-engage it, and we know it worked once on Reddit, so it can probably work again. But for best results, I would honestly stick with threads that have at least 50 comments. If it's got less than 50 comments, move on, find something else. We also want to make sure that there's a high number of upvotes. Here we can see that this one has had over 500 upvotes. That's pretty massive. So if we scroll back to the front page, let's take a look at this one, 60 comments, and we have 66 upvotes. So not too great in comparison, but on its own, I would choose even this one with 60 comments and 60 upvotes. I'd go with that. That's good enough. You also want to make sure that the actual topics need to be relevant today. People still need to care about the topics today, all these years later. Make sure that the threads are not locked or deleted, because we want to make sure that we can bring them back to life. We can't do that if a thread is locked or deleted. If it's locked, we may still be able to post on it, but it won't really be visible to anyone else. That thread is just going to be buried so low, there's no point. So we want to make sure that the threads are still, well, maybe not alive. We want to make sure that they can be resuscitated. And when it comes to actual topics, a good approach is to do something like this. So we could ask what the best tools are. So we could say something like, what are the best tools for, let's say, affiliate marketing. So now we have a list of old tools that are probably outdated, right? So now we can find relevant threads that we can provide value to, that we can genuinely update. There's probably better alternatives right now. So that gives us a really good starting point. So we could go with, what are the best tools for X? Another approach you might want to take could be my journey. So my journey to, or my journey doing, let's say, passive income again. Another option could be to go with something like what worked for you in, so here we would have a niche or a topic. So what worked for you in affiliate marketing? Let's go with that one. And now we have lots of content that we can go through and update. We can contribute, we can revive these old, long forgotten threads and use them again for traffic generation. So let's find a thread that we can update. So what we do is we take a good look through the question or the topic being discussed. Then we go down and we answer the question. So we don't give a full, complete answer, but what we do is we hit the main journey points on your customer journey. If you don't know what your customer journey looks like, let me know in the comments. I'll link to another video that explains how to find that out. But you chart out aspects of your customer journey, the main stopping points or the main tools or whatever it might be, but we don't go too deep. So that's the first thing we need to do. We need to do that absolutely first. So we contribute that very brief comment, and this kind of reawakens the thread a little bit, okay? And then we step back. What's going to happen then is other people may join in and the discussion will begin to grow again, and that's exactly what you want here. So while that is going on, while people are flocking to that thread and activity is increasing, behind the scenes, what I want you to do is go write a piece of content on your website or on Medium or whatever platform you want to publish on. Go ahead, write a piece of content. This new post is going to talk about the thread that you have found, the thread that you are reviving on Reddit. It's going to contain your keywords, it's going to address the main pain points, and most importantly, it's going to update the information. So you're going to use the Reddit post that you found as inspiration for your content, and you're going to say that outright. You're going to credit Reddit and the poster on Reddit who created the thread originally. You're going to reference that in your piece of content. So you may want to start with a headline that sounds something like, I revisited this viral 2007 Reddit post. Here's what still works in 2025. If I'm going with my keywords of passive income, I might want to say something like passive income advice from 2017 versus 2025. Brutally honest update. Or even say something like revisiting a classic Reddit thread on passive income. So now you need to set the scene. So we do that in 3 ways. So to set the scene, you mention the Reddit post. Then you explain why you're revisiting it. And then you make a promise. of what they will learn, what they will gain from your content. And then a content idea, a structure could be to list what worked in the past versus what works now in 2025. So you have that direct comparison. And all you need is 2 or 3 ideas, but keep it short, keep it sharp, keep it easy to understand. And then you dig deeper into what is working today. You provide more context. You could even show step-by-step information on how to achieve specific results. But the point is, here you create a substantial piece of content. So we have the short, sharp intro bit at the top. So you make the direct comparisons. Then we go deep into what is working. We really earn people's trust. And remember, people are going to click on this link if they don't get what they expect. If it's not worth their time, they're going to call you out. So you need to create a piece of content that really stands up on its own, something of high value to that community. I'll speak about promoting it in a second, but first of all, we need to create this piece of content, and then we need to have a CTA, a call to action at the end. So there's no point in getting all this traffic coming to your website or to your article, wherever you choose to publish it, and no one takes action. We want to make sure that we capitalize, that we profit from this traction, from this traffic. So we have a CTA to an affiliate product or to a lead gen, whatever it is up to you. How you monetize this traffic is entirely up to you, but we need to make the traffic or encourage the traffic to do something that is going to benefit you and benefit your business. Okay, so the next step is we go back to Reddit. We go to the sub that hosts the post that we initially found. So here you can see I'm on the Entrepreneur sub. So I would click here. I would go ahead and create a new post on the Entrepreneur sub. I would link to the original post that I found. I would talk about that. I would say that this is the inspiration for this new piece of content that I'm posting on Reddit. And you would explain why you are updating it now. So we're creating a brand new thread on the same sub. We're linking to the old thread and we're delivering value. However, we don't want to go too deep here. We want to deliver enough value where people click in, they consume the content that you've just posted on Reddit, feel like they've got value, but we want to encourage them to click a link onto your website or wherever you've chosen to publish your content. That's important. So when you go ahead, you do that, you publish that piece of content, we go back to the original thread, and then we update our comment to say, look, I've updated this piece of content. Here's a link back to you can either link to the thread that you've created, the new thread, or to your website. I would say to build trust, link to the new thread that you've just created. And if you want to take this a step further, click the link in the description. Thank you for being here with me today. I will see you again very soon. Take care.